Hi everyone, welcome back to this series. So today we have the last two letters of the Russian alphabet, and they're not real, like traditional letters. They don't really have sounds on their own. They're more modifiers. So these are called the tvrdy znak and myaky znak, which means soft sign and hard sign. So I'll cover the soft sign first. There are only really three letters where I can actually tell the difference. Other times it's basically just used as a separator between vowels and consonants. So these letters are il, and in. So these letters do sound quite different when you put a soft sign after them. So the letter N will kind of become like a ny sound. You take the word, for example, you want to say I am lazy, you say mnie lien. I can't pronounce it very well, to be honest. It's kind of like lień, mnie lień, like that, kind of. So it's like a ny sound, which is very weird for me to pronounce. I'm not the best at pronouncing it, but it's kind of like a ny sound. Then we have the R. So normally R is R, like a really strong rolled R. If you add the soft sign after it, it would just become ir. It's kind of like you drop it. You don't really roll the R. So a word for that is, for example, dver, which means door. So you don't say dver like that. You say dver. So it kind of, you don't roll the R, it's kind of soft. And the last one we have is L. So when you have a soft sign after this, you kind of touch your tongue to the top of your mouth and say L. So it's not L, it's il. A good example would be, for example, the fantasy word elf would be elf. It's not elf, it's ilf, elf, like that. It's a bit weird for me to pronounce. Sometimes I can be lazy and kind of ignore this. There are some words that have this, for example, tulka or skolka. So it can be quite important to actually know this. But it's not something you should really focus on at the beginning. It's something you should be aware of, but you don't need to be an expert at the start. You just need to kind of know that it exists. And I'm not the best at the difference myself. So the hard sign, it's basically used just as a separator. It's very similar to... So before I've explained that the letter ye is pronounced as ye after vowels. If you put a soft sign before it, it also counts as a vowel, so it will always be pronounced as ye. And there are some words like, for example, subject. If you don't have a soft sign after the B, then it will be subject, like that. So it won't be a ye, it will be an e. So the hard sign is basically used just to separate it, just to say this is definitely pronounced as ye, so subject. Even though there are words like niet, which doesn't have a soft sign or a hard sign, it's kind of a weird exception. Anyway, so hard sign is basically just used for this, and it's very rare. You won't actually see it that often. It's only really used for this. You can also, for example, have the letter ya. It also works the exact same way. If you have normally if you have a consonant and a ya, it's just tia. But if you add a hard sign or soft sign, it will be a ya sound, definitely. But it's basically used just to separate letters. It's something you shouldn't really focus on at the start, because it's having perfect pronunciation as a beginner is not that important. You just want to make sure people understand you. But you need to be aware of them, and basically every verb in Russian will have a soft sign at the end. So you kind of need to write it in spelling, but otherwise it's not too important as a beginner. It's more when you want to get to the, like, when you're at the advanced level and you want to have decent pronunciation, you should focus on it. Anyway, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you in the next episode.